Hi guys, your boy Nipo here and you're watching Unbelievable Cases. Previous time we have heard the survival story of the Robertson family, but this time we are going to dig into a murder, a horrifying one. So if you are under 18 or do not tolerate horrific storytelling, I suggest you to stop watching now. For all others, let's go ahead. In June 1965, Fred and Edwina Rogers were living in Huston along with their grown 43-year-old son Charles. The family mostly kept to themselves in their quiet neighborhood, especially given Charles' antisocial behavior. In fact, many neighbors were not even aware that Charles lived at home with his parents because he left the house each day before dawn and didn't return until well after nightfall. When Fred and Edwina hadn't answered their phone in 3 days and their nephew Marvin was becoming concerned, he decided to go to their home, but he found the house was all locked up and the blinds were closed. He had no way to check on his aunt and uncle, so he called the police and requested a welfare check. Around 9 p.m., 2 police officers accompanied Marvin to the Rogers house and knocked on the door. When there was no answer, police kicked the door in. Inside, there was no sign of the elderly couple. The home was messy indeed, but Marvin said neither his aunt or uncle were the best housekeepers, so that didn't seem odd to him. But what did seem odd was the dinner on the table and the smell of rot coming from the fridge in the kitchen. An officer opened the fridge and saw what he at first thought was stacks of washed but unwrapped hog meat lining on every shelf in the fridge. It was when he opened the top drawer that he realized his initial assumptions was very wrong. There was 2 freaking human heads lying in there. Investigators later concluded that Edwina had been shot in the head, execution style, while Fred had been beaten to death with a sledgehammer, before both were dragged to the master bathroom, drained of blood, chopped into pieces and placed in the fridge. So whoever did this apparently took their time and know exactly what they were doing. By the next morning, police had focused on just one suspect, the couple's son. Of course, who else would think to lock up the house after killing 2 people in a very personal way? The house had been carefully cleaned, but blood was discovered on the keyhole of his bedroom door. It was estimated that the Rogers had been dead for 3 days, meaning they were murdered on Father's Day. But the police didn't get the chance to speak with Charles, who, despite a nationwide manhunt, was never seen or heard from again. He was declared legally dead in 1975. So Charles, at the time of murders, was 43 years old and said to be extremely intelligent and with an intense interest in ham radios. He spoke 7 languages and had a science degree in nuclear physics. He had been a pilot for the US Navy during World War II and served in the Office of Naval Intelligence. Upon discharge, he became a seismologist for Shell Oil Company. After 9 years with Shell, Charles inexplicably quit his job without explanation and moved in with his parents, but they rarely ever saw their son. Charles turned into a loner, living in the bedroom and only communicating with his parents through notes they would pass each other under his bedroom door. In 1997, forensic accountant Hugh Gardner and his wife Martha began investigating the crime themselves. They wrote their own book detailing their theories called The Icebox Murders. In the book, they acknowledged that Charles had dealings with CIA contract workers while he was a seismologist for Shell. They believe Charles was emotionally and physically abused as a child and as an adult. They also claim that near the end of their life, Edwina and Fred were both defrauding their son, forging his signature on debts of land he owned and taking out loans in his name and pocketing the money. They said Fred worked as a bookie, regularly engaging in gambling, fraud, and stealing large sums of money from Charles and continuing to physically abuse the grown man. The Gardners claim Charles had been planning his parents' death for years and used his powerful friends whom he had met through his ham radio hobby while working in the oil industry to flee to Mexico. They theorized Charles eventually ended up in Honduras, where he experienced some cosmic karma when he was killed over a wage dispute with miners. The murders of Fred and Edwina Rogers remains an unsolved case, and Charles is still considered the only suspect. The house where the murders took place remained empty and unsold until it was torn down in 1972. The lot was empty until 2000, when apartments were built. That's it for today, guys. Please subscribe, leave a comment in the section below, and take care. See you next time. Bye bye.